but I worked with Neil for the whole project.
One of the Churchills.
Yeah, we are live.
Well, everybody, meeting called to order at 5:32 p.m. Members present. Madeline Traylor, David Alvey, David Wells. Absent, David Worley, Tammy Warning. First thing, consider the approval of the minutes from May for a special call.
May 29th.
I guess I'll have to second,
You can
Second.
second.
because you can second even showing there.
She can't make, she couldn't, because she wasn't here, she can't do the motion, but she can do the
Okay.
second.
All in favor? Aye. Moving on to old business.
That's project updates. Big one. The pickleball court. The asphalt has been placed, the lights are in place. Right now, we're sitting on a 30-day wait at request of the surface finisher. They want to let the asphalt set and cure for 30 days before they come on and start their thing. During that time, they're going to try to get the fencing up, and we're going to try to set the benches on pads, and then Miracle will come and place in the canopies for all the bleachers. So there'll be 8 bleachers. There's 8 positions, or 8 bleachers around both courts, and we've got canopies to go over each of the bleachers.
So middle of September.
Well, they were supposed to be done by the 1st of August, but what's happened is there was 54 days of rain in their original contract, plus the time that we asked them not to get started because of abrasion. We were getting so close. And so they asked for and received an extension, and it goes till the end of September. 1st October is the deadline.
Okay.
And I really, unless Mother Nature starts playing games again, I don't expect that to change, because they've really got moving on it. We are gonna have probably a little situation where we've got to look at the drain. For some reason, it was placed too close to the other one for the water to drain properly or get the slope. So we're gonna have to go in there and put a retaining wall of some sort and try to back drain it out and around on the outside. So, or at least that's what it looks like, because where they poured the connection from the upper to the lower has no place. We could actually go back and probably put a drain under it by punching it through. But I don't know that we'll do that. We'll just have to go back and talk with the engineers on that one. I know they were looking at it going, wait a minute, something's not quite right here. So inevitably that's gonna happen. And almost every project I've ever run into, I've had to go back and look at. Stormwater drainage has been the biggest issue that I've had to deal with in most of the projects that we've done. We had something similar to that when BFW was doing the multi-use trail down in front of the old park. We had a situation where we were having a drainage issue that we had to go back and rework. So, or wasn't going to work after it got on site. So anyway, we'll look at that, but it should not. I don't think it'll delay its opening. At this point, I think we're still pretty good from October 1st.
Okay.
Who's doing the the paint surfacing?
I don't know who they've subcontracted with.
Okay.
They didn't say. Most likely the gentleman out of Illinois. If not him, then Louisville Paving out of Louisville. One of the two, because Louisville Paving did our first, the tennis courts originally. And they also did the striping for the pickleball courts when we did the mutual overlay. Now the other guy from Illinois did this court that you're playing on now. The new one, I'm not sure who they got the contract, but both of them did a good job. So. That's
Won't
kind
be
of
a problem matching the paint or whatever if they different.
No. There may be some fading, but other than that, I don't see that necessarily. So that's our big project right now, and we're finishing that one up. I haven't heard anything back from Land and Water Conservation Fund, but I kind of expect to hear something later this month, first of next month, to see if we got this round. Again, I'll come back. You guys we're probably not around when we have two grants going for this continuation of the multi-use trail from Fifth Avenue all the way back over Railroad Avenue. And Land and Water Conservation Fund is what we were actually trying to get the primary of the bulk of it. Well, grant, the GRANT grant actually will only apply if we get the LWCF grant. So if we don't get the grant, we don't get the Land and Water Conservation Fund, we don't get the other one. If we do, we get both. So that's kind of where we sit right now. You'll see where that's gonna go. Lighting, fencing, it's all in there. We're still, we probably will start working on fencing, sometime this next month. Or at least getting out and getting our bids in for that. Again, mowing is the biggest issue we've got, trying to keep up with everything. We are literally mowing 84 acres every week, and that's the guys in the parks only. That doesn't count, some of the other stuff they have to do, like striping fields and working up ball fields and stuff like that, and then maintaining the safety on the equipment. So it's been a challenge, needless to say, this year with all the rain we've had. Generally, we don't have that much rain especially in the summertime, but it has not
Yeah, it's been bad. A lot
worked
of
in our
golf
favor.
courses,
Yeah,
the greens.
pardon me, I'm silencing my
Really bad.
phone. I apologize for that.
You said lighting, were you referring to the additional lighting we're getting coming up that as part of that multi-use trail? Is that lighting?
The lighting that we're getting this year will be to finish the lighting over in Memorial Park. It'll also, and that's part of it coming up there, and then you're also talking about the lighting, replacing the heads on fields 1 and 2 to go to LED lights. And then, we've got at the same time, we're gonna replace or put lighting in back here in the parking lot, which also benefits not only the city hall, but also those in the soccer fields or anybody that's overflow like that. So we've got 4 lights going back there. So that's the lighting there. We also are going to start on the rip out of the asphalt or the blacktop around the concession stand in the ball fields and up to the gate. We're going to redo all of that. That's going to be taken out. We're going to lower it so that when the asphalt is placed, it will actually be able to drain away, and we're going to redo the drainage on that one. So that's been an issue. We've got money in the budget for that one.
That's separate from the grant. That's not part of the grant.
No, that's strictly tax funds.
Part of the budget.
Let's see, we have a multi-use or a unisex single restroom that's going to go in that we've got money for down here at the tennis court. So that would give us, that'll help us remove the bright blue Party Johns. Get those out of here eventually. They've ordered the mowers. We've gotten in the mowers for this year. This is storage shed, some banners. Those are standards, and the field mix, all that's standard. Looking at the bigger projects. There we go, right here.
Love all the new paving we've got so far. It's really improved the aesthetics and just the park in general. I love the loop at the memorial.
Okay, down at the old park.
Old park looks
Yeah.
good.
Heard a lot of good compliments. It looks really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really nice.
We've got wayfinding signs to get. We've got of course, City Hall parking lot. We've got that one. The walking trail improvements or the multi-use trail improvements. lighting on upgrades for fields 1 and 2, ballpark park fencing for Old Park.
Mhm. Oh, yeah, for the
To
soccer.
to close that in. All right, now
That'd be
there's
good.
no outfield. We're gonna put that in there and then. Once that's done, then we'll go back and see about putting in, the concrete, pad for the
Dugouts.
dugout, yeah,
Sure.
and also a roof. That'll help shade and,
That'd be good.
That would be good. I've heard comments about that already.
Yeah.
And they got the good parking lot.
the outdoor fitness equipment, we put that on hold. Because of, the deal with the, state auditor. Has come in and has not. She left the answers on Sourcewell. Sourcewell is another governmental, it was established by government, Minnesota, state of Minnesota established Sourcewell as as a competitive purchasing agency in which others could join. And most of the Commonwealth, most of the communities in the Commonwealth have joined Sourcewell. We included Benton, Paducah, we're all in Sourcewell, have been. And it is already, since it's a pre-bid situation, generally you can go with that. We can go with GSA bids as well as the states, the Commonwealth's bids. If they pre-bid it, we don't have to bid it again unless we want to. We can actually go with a contract that's been let. But Sourcewell, for some reason, has brought up, was mentioned by the auditor. They're still trying to, because when I talked to JD Cheney, who is the president or the director of Kentucky League of Cities. And so he is in conversation with Alice or Miss Ball about that. And what the auditor had said was that it recommended, not that you couldn't, but it said it recommended that you bid it anyway. Well, it's been vague. And JD said that if we couldn't get something worked out with Miss Ball, the auditor's office, that they were going to go back and see about getting some legislation written up for the next session to see if they can't fix that. So, but they've been telling us and everybody else for years, and so is CAECO. They've been telling their people for years that Sourcewell is fine. Just when you join it, you can use it, and we have. Matter of fact, we used it to get when we got the canopies. Like I said, the statement that they had on another community, there were other issues at play, but they just said it was recommended. It didn't say that they had to. It just said it was recommended. But we're trying to get some more clarity on that because most of these communities have never had a bad hit on their audits. And we don't want that to come in and happen to us either. So we're just it's more trying to be safe than sorry. And once we get some clarity on that, then we'll continue to move forward as needed. But with that said, if we have to, we can bid it. Paving in Doctors Park, lighting on the Memorial Park Trail down at Memorial Park, yeah. And then there should be some stuff that being done on the detention basin. One of the first things that we'll do will be an actual drive that goes across the northern levee so that we can maintain the overflow. After that, we'll start working on a small walking loop on the east side there off of Cedar. And then this fall, we'll try to put in some river birch and some benches so that people have a place to sit. So. All right. So, and that's
that water.
huh?
The birches will like that extra water over there.
So, and really that I'm gonna brag on that one right there because that's probably one of the best projects I think we've ever done. And it has saved numerous residences.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm talking about just the apartment complex. That one itself was a major one, but it's actually helped save houses down in Arkansas and Alaska and Arizona that had been underwater and previously. And it has done a whale of a job protecting those from that flood, that drainage, flash flooding. So.
Yeah, when Dawson Springs and everybody else was having flooding from, because of all that rain,
Mhm.
normally we would have been in trouble
Mm.
down there and it took care of it.
But you know, what the weird thing with that flash flood that we had, the last one, the big one,
Mhm.
rain didn't come from us. Didn't come through our storm system. It came through Cypress. It came south of us.
Mhm.
You know, down 641, it comes that way through that old channel and came in there. And that's where most of that came from and went
Mhm.
over by your house, you know, over in the field.
Yep.
And it was something over there, but it never filled the basin.
Mhm.
I don't think it got more than a third full the whole time, which is unusual.
Mhm.
So. That's all the old business and updates, unless there's something that I have missed that you guys have on your mind or something else that you were thinking about for old business. Okay,
I really can't think of anything else.
okay,
I know we were talking about some new business
okay.
before, but so I guess we can move on to new business. Anybody had any chance to research any of the Christmas decorations that we were looking at?
I've looked at some stuff, but I don't know if anybody else has had a chance to.
Did y'all send that out? I haven't seen any of that.
No.
I said, did y'all send that out? Cause I
no,
haven't
like,
seen any of that.
no, the very
No, we
first
haven't
one.
sent any of that out because when I just started looking at it after I got back from our trip.
Okay.
So, but, give me a second. I can show you some things real quick.
Okay,
So I guess we could kind of set a homework date to be like, hey, we need to come back in then a meeting or two and like everybody bring something to the table. Did we decide to do something with this year, or are we just supposed to get it planned and then
I think we're
roll it the next?
kind of wanting to plan it on maybe a bigger scale, something unique
Yeah,
and
There's several vendors out there. I don't mean for you to think that this is the only one I want you to go to, but there's several out there. This
Kinda get
actually
away
has some
from the-
stuff that
the kitty
Yeah,
that I
stuff.
think has got some really cool items. And the one thing that, you know, we've talked about is, and that's kind of an old business thing, is that we wanted to do something that was uniquely Calvert and not the same thing as Miller Park or Noble Park or something like that.
It's pretty.
That is pretty.
Something different, something that's uniquely us. And they've got all kinds of art things that can be used on, you
On
know,
the poles.
yeah. Now, I'm gonna tell you, it's probably not. This is not, it's a little more contemporary, but
Mhm.
I mean, these are just, again, just things, these are banners for poles.
Yeah.
But you can actually make this a community that's different. You know, across the street banners. You know. It's
What
just,
about the lot poles
Can we take it?
going down Main Street?
Yeah.
What about the poles going down Main Street?
you're probably better off, I don't know, we'll just have to see. We may be better off just,
Pretty cool.
Kind of,
it depends, you may be.
kind of have a trail.
I don't know if we can
going
swing an arm or not, but there's some things there.
There's a lot of
No.
stuff out there, like you can really get,
to
you can get over your head quick with it.
Yeah.
It's- Depends on the look and the theme and.
But they've got some beautiful stuff. Without it being same as everybody else's. So,
Kind of like the gold.
huh?
I kind of like the gold.
I thought it was a nice touch. I mean, that, you know. And if we could get across, there's a, biggest problem is pairing, there's not really any pairing lights, you know what I'm saying? So when you come across, is it gonna be straight or is it gonna be like this, you know, at an angle? So that's one of the problems we've run into. It may be that we could pull something off in the park. And then use pole lights, you know. It'll have to have an arm that'll have to be added to it
Mhm.
for that type of thing. But it can be done. So I'll pass that around. That's holiday outdoor decor, sorry.
Did we go ahead and set aside lighting money for that, or do we? set
We
that
have
whole-
not, no,
we-
what we're trying to do is put a plan together so that once you get a plan and idea,
That's what I was-
then we can start looking at at some other things and trying to put an overall plan together. So. Or recommendation. It'll be a recommendation and it goes, and then they'll
You know, we
either
were
they'll
tasked,
fund it or they don't.
we were tasked to come up with a collective theme, not just like buy a bunch of random,
Yes,
throw a hodgepodge,
Okay.
we, and not to copy. Benton's got the Dickens and, put it, make it our own, but do something more than what we've got.
Okay.
And try to maybe incorporate, the paved loops that we've got, like maybe some light arches or, the dancing lights, some of that.
maybe it's not elaborate as elaborate on the street here on Fifth
Yeah.
Avenue as it is in Old Park, Memorial Park or something like
So
that.
that's what, kind of threw that out there. I think that was my very first meeting, and then I guess kind of forgot about it, but
Okay.
maybe in a meeting.
No,
or
it's
two.
been talked about for quite a while, but everybody gets busy and forgets, so.
Yeah,
But if we can get some ideas, then we can get some, I can get some quotes and get some ideas of cost.
Okay.
But just get an overall plan. It may be that we get a hold of some of the representatives and either do some kind of a meeting online or have one of them come in if they're close enough
Okay.
and talk about some things like that. See what kind of suggestions they might have.
Yeah, kind of like the gold ribbon.
I think that'd be really cool to incorporate it in the parks. I feel like that's the gem of Calvert, is our park
Mhm.
systems. And
Agree.
so to have like some of those throughout the parks, not just on the main street, I know that's more money, but.
No, well, I know that the park is where we decorate.
Uh-huh.
And so that's where we need to focus. That's where we've got all of our, we've got the nice lighting there and we've got all the other amenities. And so, yeah, I think that's still probably you start there and then you build out.
Mhm.
Because there's enough light poles down there that
oh, yeah,
you'll have a lot
Plenty.
of banners to swing off of those.
yeah.
Yeah, but you could do it at all the parks and really make it. In the continuous.
Ain't nothing but money.
Ain't nothing but money. Yeah, it's pretty.
I just, just something that's unique. If nothing else, Calvert is definitely unique. And I say that with love when I say it.
Mhm.
I agree.
And speaking of holidays, the 4th was good as usual. Everything went off without a hitch and
Mhm.
Beautiful crowd,
It was
man.
nice.
That was a massive crowd.
cleaned
down
up easy
there.
the next day. It looked like everything was pretty well taken care of.
Usually we're visiting family in Michigan, Katie's family in Michigan. And we're not here. We didn't make it this time. And man, it was something else. I managed to get half of my clan up this way. I saw the Alvey bus yesterday.
The Alfie bus.
So then we take a couple of the other kids in the neighborhood. She drops the little kids off and her neighbor takes the kids to the middle school, but she pulls up in the van. He's like, what bus number is this? There's like 9 kids roll up.
It's the blue line or the red line?
Since I wasn't here at the last meeting, what did we decide as far as the workout equipment?
That we've got a set we've been looking at through Miracle
Mm-hmm.
that has been approved by Sourcewell. And it's a little less than 80,000. That money would actually put it on a pad with the surfacing material and everything. So it's a
Pretty extensive. It had a lot all body weight.
yeah.
Nice little wraparound kind of, you could almost work your way around it. A little bit of everything, and like even ropes and stuff like that. And
Yeah,
like I said, a fraction of the cost of the other one, and it's all metal, so there's nothing that's gonna deteriorate and padding and stuff like that. So
Okay.
the only moving parts on it are the actual ropes.
Did
Everything else uses your body weight.
Yeah.
did we consider doing anything on the trail?
What?
I know at one time we had discussed along the loop,
Oh,
maybe having little
Yeah, we
workout
talked
well, we're
stations,
gonna put this.
do 10 sit-ups, do.
It'll be
jumping jacks.
south of the It'll be up on top of the hill south of the tennis or racquetball courts, pickleball courts. One of those
Okay.
courts.
We did talk about
So
that.
just the
but we didn't go any
centralized.
further with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, just.
It's right
centralized.
now, it's looking at going up on top
Okay,
and it all be in one section. So. And it's less than, it's like 30 by 36 was the area is all. But it's a complete unit and you go all the way around it with sit-ups, everything. Yes, sir.
When was that, cargo ball pit? When was that project gonna take off with that?
I haven't heard anything back from the young man. He's raising the money for it
Okay.
right now. So
Okay, I
that's
thought
kind of
was
where it
already ready
sits.
to go.
Now, it's gonna go on the south side of the playground area
Okay,
between it and the water fountain.
that's what I was thinking, it's like,
Cause we've got, I've got enough room in there that I can still, when we eventually, we're still looking or talking about the all-inclusive area and have been sinking it's a merry-go-round that sinks down so that wheelchairs can get up on it as well. And we were looking at placing it south of the existing and then the Gaga ball pit on south side of that. So it would take us down to the water fountain. So.
have we ever looked at any kind of additional, it's so bright up there now, it's almost lit, but. Like you go to Murray's Park, I don't know if you've been to Murray's. In the park, back by Playhouse in the park, but they've got a huge, structure. It's all lit at night, it's fenced in. They've got the all-inclusive area over here that's fenced in, lit up, but they have lights, so, hot summer night, you can still go play at night if you're out with
Well,
your kids and.
The biggest thing with that, our lights, of course, we've got the lights on the trail, but most of our lights were designed. Now, that's not true of the pickleball. We're trying to work on that. It'll just be an on and off of the pickleball, but a lot of those, like the
Yeah, the
skate
ball course,
park,
Yeah,
it dims.
Mhm.
After so long, it dims, and that's because it's close to those houses.
Yeah.
So to do something like that eventually down the road, we probably have to do the same thing.
yeah, they don't have a ton, and most of it's very overgrown trees in there, but it's enough that you can. Play it not so safely, but we come up here a lot, the basketball court lights it when somebody's on the court, but
Mhm.
I didn't know.
It's also supposed to do the dimming as well.
Yeah, it'll dim, or sometimes it's like a kickoff, but.
They'll
I've noticed
kick,
that.
they'll go in, you go in there and the movement is caught, then it
Yeah.
brightens back up.
Yeah, I didn't know if we'd ever looked at something like that, and like I said, they've got like
Not at this
a
point.
small
It-
short fence around it to kind of keep this little kids corralled in there where they can't, out on the trails or whatever, so.
Well,
I know if we ever looked at.
we had, at one point in time, we did have a retaining wall there, but it was removed. So I don't know if we've got enough room, to put a fence around it, but it'll still be, we may be able to do something on that one side where the parking lot is.
Yeah, that's kind of my concern. I've seen a
Yeah.
lot of kids run out that way and there's, traffic moves there quite a bit.
Mhm.
Kids whipping up there to play basketball.
But we were looking at adding the merry-go-round on the south side, and there was another piece. I can't remember if it's a glider or a slider.
What do you mean when you say merry-go-round?
Merry-go-round.
Like with horses?
It's one of those deals that,
Pretty
no,
much.
the one that just
Just
goes
the
around
one
and
that
around, you
spins.
get, yeah.
Okay, alright, when you say merry-go-round, I think of like.
Yeah, okay, you're talking about the
Something-
the carnival, yeah. No,
Yeah,
this is
a
just,
spinner.
it's just a deal. We used to get on there and run like
Yeah.
crazy.
Try to
Okay.
fling
And
somebody.
then,
around.
and it's,
Yeah.
roll around and jump off. I mean, we just,
So I
but
think,
it's,
I would
it's
love-
similar, but it's actually built down in the ground so that it's
Right.
flush.
Yeah,
So that what you do is you just roll right up, a person on a wheelchair can actually get on it.
so what's the, is it gonna be like rubber, like around it, or is how?
It would have to be.
Yeah,
probably the-
Anymore, the things that we used to use in the past, we can't use for safety material anymore.
mhm,
They're just not allowing it. They've got a great rubber lobbyist, or lobby group apparently.
Hmm,
So everything's turned to rubber.
I think we did mention that. We're talking about the features and stuff for the playground, the pouring place. Did you find out any information on wear and tear and replacement if something, we were to get some of that in, and is it like come out in tiles, or is it?
Pouring place does
more
not.
board, or-
Pouring place would have to be
Yeah.
removed and poured back. Now you can actually get, and another one thing is you can get, instead of pouring place, you can actually get the pads or
Yeah.
the tiles like you're talking about that can be,
Yeah,
Mhm.
isn't that what the workout system had, was the tiles?
I believe that's
I think
correct.
that's what brought it up, was we need to check on
Yeah.
tiles for like the merry-go-round and the other stuff versus the pouring place, because I'm
Yeah.
sure the tiles is probably more expensive, but when it comes to repair, it's probably the better.
It's easier because you can
Yeah.
pop one up and replace it, yeah. Yeah. None of it's, well, the chrome rubber was actually fairly cheap, but even it's not, not even recommended much anymore. Maybe for just like for the regular kids, but if you're gonna have it an all-inclusive, forget it. That, or if you're actually like, a gym setup, like they've got there, you need a solid foundation. And it can't be just a concrete one. It's got to be, you've got to have the padding on it.
So is that where we're heading for that playground, is to like move towards an all-inclusive?
This one up here on, behind the Civic Center,
Yeah,
there will be moving toward an all-inclusive there, yes.
Yeah, we don't have anything on that market. The school, the elementary school has a couple, accessible things, the wheelchair thing that
Yeah.
the city doesn't.
Right.
Kind of,
so
So-
are we talking about replacing it or just adding things?
No,
as years
adding.
Go on.
Because what we've got is
Yeah,
ADA compliant.
Mhm.
What we don't have is more inclusive stuff that, like that. So we're just adding some pieces. And the biggest thing to making it all inclusive is the surface material. That's the biggest thing.
the wheels have to be able to
So-
roll up in it,
So,
walking surface.
Something I would like to consider is adding cornhole boards down at Old Park.
again,
Yeah, they're,
I built some, I had them poured and
They were
built and they
poured.
never used them.
they're having bags.
You can't bring your own.
No.
If I had them down there, they
If you
wouldn't
bring,
last.
if
You
you
know
bring,
that.
if you bring your own, then you already probably have a board.
Yeah, I forgot those concrete ones were down there.
We built 2 courts down there.
And they don't slide right. They're too easy. You just throw it, it just sticks. It's not like a real
As long
board.
as it's the same for concrete.
What we should probably do is just pour a simple pad, bolt
We
the
can
wood.
put, I tell you what we can do. We can put
Bolt the
one on
one
either
boards.
side of the volleyball court.
Come on, John. Bolt them to the pads,
Just change the box up.
bolt them to the pads, but traditional, really good cornhole boards, wood ones that react the way they're supposed to react. That was
Well,
the problem.
if we'd have put a finished surface on the front, you'd have had that.
Yeah.
Instead of just leaving it flat, finished
Or,
concrete.
Yeah,
If
they
they put
just,
us,
Epoxy. or
they didn't
something.
slide the way they were supposed to slide. And it was just.
well,
too
that's
easy.
because they didn't have that finished board. You
Yeah.
can put a finished board on there like a Luca Bond board or something that'll allow it to
I
slide.
mean, if you want to try that, we could do that.
I don't think any other board's gonna hold up.
Yeah.
You can put all the wood boards up there you want to, but they're gonna go fast and it's gonna be a mess.
And plus you gotta think about the.
And then the maintenance on them is gonna be something else too, so. If you're gonna put something up there, make it concrete, make it stable.
Put the
and then-
concrete back and do a slick finish.
Yeah,
I'm good with that.
Like I say, you get that epoxy on there, then you start getting your dust from that should move.
but if you use, I mean, I understand concrete didn't slide, but no one ever put what I call we could have put a finish on it that could have done that.
If you furnish the first set of
But
bags,
no, well,
I'll furnish the second set.
Oh,
what about the 3rd, 4th, 5th and 16th?
No, then we'll have to.
Cause they're gonna walk off.
We'll
with-
make them come get them from City Hall after that.
No, we're not. No, we're not. Bring your own
I'll
bags.
furnish the second.
Bring your
set.
own bags.
You do.
I'll tell
one
you what to
set,
do.
I'll do
I'll put
second
one
set.
down, we'll put one down there that's got a coin operated.
If you just find a good hiding spot down there and like put them in like a hole in a tree and that'll be your set that you can
know,
go
we-
get every time.
We could just put them where the propane tanks go. When somebody gets it,
We try to put the balls on the courts,
once you lock them in there.
Anything it is not
Don't
attached.
take- Yeah, use but don't take, and within 2 or 3 days,
Gone.
8 or 10 balls will be gone.
I'm telling you right now.
Yeah.
If it ain't locked or or tacked to something, it's gone. It's gonna walk off and it won't be there long.
you're good.
So that's the run, and this court we talked about has got one of these big medicine balls.
Mhm.
It ain't not going out there.
Battle ropes, yeah.
The ropes will go out there, but I can figure out a way to lock them on. Or I think I can,
Yeah.
anyway.
I'm sure you can get them.
But the the ball,
Okay.
medicine ball, it'll be gone within a week. So I ain't gonna do it.
Well,
So
if
I
you
won't
put,
do
you
it.
put them in, furnish the first set, I'll do the second set.
That'll be the only set I furnish. How about that?
That's right, that, you do the first set. I'll do
Because
the
you'll
second
watch them
set.
go faster. You can't get down there fast enough
It
to replace
surprises
them.
me how many kids are so destructive with the parks. I mean, what is the matter with kids? What
Yeah,
is the
those
matter with
kids,
this
those kids
generation?
are at these parks.
Yeah, biggest thing for me is broken glass up here. That's what I see most of the kids.
Yeah.
doing.
I mean, they are constantly destroying.
The handicap tables that we've had were the ones they loved the most, and they'll destroy it. We've,
Yeah,
at $500 a pop, it gets to be expensive.
There just needs to be more to do down there for a picnic. And I do one every year.
what do we do with
And I
the,
can't talk everybody into playing disc golf, so.
Do what now?
the fireplace down there? I know, I've never seen anybody use it. Do they call up here and then you'll have to like go turn it on?
Yeah, we don't put fuel in it until they ask for it.
Okay,
And then they pay for the tank.
and then you take it down there. and
We'll take it down there, set it up, and then they can use it by just pushing the button. But we don't let them do anything other than just push the start button.
And that's during like city hall hours only, like you don't, you wouldn't want to send. a
We
worker
can
out
set
to
it, we
do
can set it up in advance. If you're gonna use it that evening,
Yeah,
as long as we know about it in advance, we can get down there and set it up.
so what if you've got a lockbox like that
Mhm.
with the bags? They want the cornhole, there's a flag that says.
I can't send someone down there every time somebody wants to set
Yeah,
up
that's what I
cornhole
was- yeah.
bags.
There's the same like you.
I'll never get anything done if I have to run back and forth and
Yeah,
unlock it
that's
and
what I was wondering
unlock
if
it.
you're sending people.
Gonna be a part of the picnic package, maybe, if you go down there and do it. We're gonna have a big picnic. We have one set that we will give you if you're having 50 people down there. We'll furnish a set of bags.
A good set of bags. is-
When you're done, put them inside the
That's what I mean.
propane. door.
Bags.
Yeah, rack up quick,
John
people
Shakes.
taking them. And if it's a good set of bags, they're gonna take them.
Yeah, they are. So. We could think of something, we might come up with something, I don't know.
Cameras, I'm off the camera.
I like cameras.
Need more cameras.
I've got a ton of cameras.
Um,
Load them out there.
I'm late from park, but, university used to check stuff out. So you had equipment you could check out.
I thought people used to check out disc golf stuff from Blair or whatever. Like, did they not do that? Okay, I swore at one time you could check out rec equipment.
The library may have pickleball times.
Maybe that's what it was. I thought
The
somebody.
library actually had helmets that they would check out for the skate park as well,
Oh,
So that's
but they wouldn't use them.
You got an inventory to check out. How
yeah.
do you let people know you got the inventory? Where do you keep the inventory? Who's responsible for the checkout?
Yeah.
What happens when they don't come back? So it takes.
Yeah, everything's got its.
Harris, Tennessee, last week, they had concrete cornhole fixtures there. They might have had the real things. I don't remember. I took some pictures.
There's a company that does that. They've got all kinds of stuff. You got ping pong tables and,
Yeah, I sent Blair a concrete ping pong table a couple years ago. I was like, this would be. Cool.
yeah,
But then you got
I've
paddles in
looked
the
at
bottom.
them.
It's like, that would be fun.
They had
Can't destroy that.
They had a co-op student. Had a summer intern student. Who was being paid to sit there and take $2 admission to their splash pad.
Huh.
And their splash pad was, I said, Paris got what, 10,000 people or something, so it's bigger deal. And they had big pavilions and stuff. That you could rent for birthday parties, and then they turn around and let it be free 2 or 3 days a week. So you collect 4 days a week and you're free 2 or 3 days. I didn't get the point. $2 they had. I don't get it. But they had summer help. So somebody had enough time to supervise summer help.
Jeez.
So somebody probably had enough time that they could have checked out equipment. We're not quite like that, are we?
I don't even use summer help anymore because I don't have the manpower to turn loose to watch over them. So it's just not economically feasible. I mean, we wind up paying for extra people and then pay for an employee that can't do anything but watch over.
Yeah.
And so we've lost the trained one to watch those that fortunately don't do a great job at maintaining the equipment very well.
We haven't.
That's, or it has been, but, and don't know, they really just don't know how to maintain it. That's the other issue. It's not that they are probably doing it as a, you know, they're just doing it and they don't realize they're doing it, but it takes so much energy to watch over the, you know, unskilled individuals. Honest to God, folks, we don't have unskilled positions anymore. Unless you call riding the back of a garbage truck an unskilled position, but I don't call that unskilled.
No,
I wouldn't operate it.
Yeah, I'm just saying that, you know, everything we do, these guys and gals are skilled at what they're doing. It's not something that they just jump on and just, okay, go lift this and go pack that. You know, there's more to it than that. So,
and when you mentioned fencing for Old Park, did we settle on a distance?
I'm sorry, one more
Like
time.
the
Did we-
distance,
Did we settle on a distance for the outfield?
I think it was 230
230, we can go
to the,
further
no,
than
from
that.
the edge, not the peak, just down down the line.
Surely we can go
Sure.
further than that. I mean, that's not even,
I mean,
That's
I
not-
Yeah,
was-
that's not
230
even-
takes it almost all the way up to the ditch.
that's not even a co-ed field.
No, it's high school softball.
I'm talking about like a co-ed softball. Of course, most co-ed softballs played on regular fields now.
I guess it's in a ditch on this, and
I think you can,
you've met a problem. Here.
Yeah, you get much further. I mean, you get only so far you can go. And then you either have to, you still have to maintain what's the difference between that. And then you also have the roadway and cars passing. So it's just one of those things where, you know, you've got so much field and so much ground, and that's about it.
Who usually plays down there? I usually see.
Right.
Right now, it's
practice.
just been people practicing, and that's the whole point. This is primarily for practice or for, you know, businesses or
Yeah.
churches or families that want to have a put together game.
I just think that if we're gonna spend money for fencing, we ought to make it big enough to be used by different leagues possibly later down the road. Not
Well,
that
I'm not
soft-
look. Like I said, it's high school. At the best I could come up with is high school softball size. And make it work in that
Yeah.
area. So. Cause I tried to lay it out, but that's the best I could get. I mean, we could throw it a Q on it and have one side further out than the other, but that's not what I wanna. We've got these oddball outfields right now. There's no telling what, you know, some of them look like they took the field and squeezed it together and it just went, instead of having the arc it's supposed to have, it goes out like a acorn or something. So I'm trying to,
You're wanting just a bigger option, little league here.
Yeah, at least,
Provide something for.
I mean, if we can at least get it 265, 270.
I'm not gonna get 265, 270. It's not there. Cause I tried to get it out further. I tried to push it.
Mhm.
I tried to push it as much as I could.
I mean, on the right field side, you'd probably have to take out a tree, but
On the right field side, you'd have to go into the road.
That's right, it turns. It turns heading back out towards the.
Cause you're going out to the road this way. You know, out that way is the
Yeah.
road. This way is the field.
Yeah. Yeah, you're out there batting towards the bathhouse. So you're aiming into the park.
Mhm. We flipped it intentionally so that the people didn't have to go all the way to the opposite side of the ball
Right.
field to use the bathroom. So.
that's all I got.
I'll look at it again, but I know that when I ran those, I looked and I couldn't get that, but I'll look again. Double check it,
I appreciate it.
not a problem.
Mayor, anybody else have anything?
I've had it suggested a few years ago, and I think it's been suggested again here recently. The notion that we name the pickleball course.
No,
Come up before this committee.
Well, for the one side, I think they actually went with Lada on the first court, didn't they? David?
I remember it being mentioned.
I don't know if it was ever, I don't know if it ever went through that or not.
The second times, and Dustin, I think, brought it to my attention most recently. But I remember it being mentioned, I remember us talking about it. Do not remember how deep it went,
Well,
whether it got to council or not. I don't know if we would wanna separate the two of them. And I think a recommendation from this board would carry a lot of weight to the council on saying, hey, this is what we do. But if we do it, I don't see break, I don't know, but we had mentioned it before,
okay.
and I thought we had approved it, but I don't know about what vehicle we approved it, so I need to look at that, but I did want to bounce that off this committee. Kind of bad to go to it with the council without having talked about it in this committee.
Yeah, I would think one name for both courts.
That's what I'm thinking.
I think it would be confusing trying to
Yeah, it's-
name it after two people.
I can't think of any reason why you want to refer to them separately. Unless it's
Mhm.
just-
The second wouldn't be there if the first hadn't been, so
Yeah.
why credit? I mean,
That-
credit.
And it's a complex now instead of just a court. It's a
Yeah.
complex.
Mhm.
So I'm thinking that we'll do a data dig and see if we can find out where that wound up officially.
Okay.
And I think that, unfortunately, Glenda, I think she's got some vacation schedule.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's
So
gone, she'll be back Thursday.
She'd be our most reliable one to look through, so I haven't talked to her about that. But I basically want to bounce off you guys if you had any objections or wanted to, probably more likely try to go for two, whether that was an idea of Mary or not. But,
Yeah, I have no.
That's not a resolution, or anything, just a general discussion about it. I don't see naming it two separates for the two different. So let's dig up and see what we did. Is everybody generally appreciative for that sort of thing, given the hard work and organization and promotion? Well, just hard work and given a, you know, making it part of your life. I think it's an important thing.
Absolutely.
But that was brought up and talked about before the first ones were complete. And then we had a ribbon cut on it, and I quite frankly, and I'm ashamed of this, but I don't know where we got to an official name. But I don't really think we ought to rename because we're building an extra phase. Who knows, we might eventually build a phase 3 and popularity hangs for another 2 or 3 years, right? But who knows? Who knows?
I don't know if we can find a spot for it.
Well, yeah, I mean, the spots are filling up, aren't they? So anyway.
Little for U6 soccer's gonna leave. We'll have to move it down to well, we talked about it, moving it down there to the south side of Memorial Park.
But that's one of the things, U6 soccer is something that I want to see strong furthermore. That's like some of the kids' first intro to team sport.
Yeah.
And you can throw a soccer ball down and say, kick it, and everybody's a hero. I love it. I love it. Now we need to kick it a certain direction. We're building that.
Yeah, we can move it, just don't get rid of it.
So you guys thinking about the Lada pickleball complex?
She was the main person to get it going, right? Y'all are more the
I would-
pickleball people than I am.
Keep it simple, call it ladder courts, but I mean,
Calvert City pickleball has gotten to be a big thing, you know, regionally, and, you know, it's a big deal, especially in our area. Everybody knows when people come in to play, and they're the reason for it. They
Yeah.
started it all.
I think most people have awareness of their involvement.
Yeah. I didn't even know about pickleball till they showed up in my office.
Yeah, I think we're all flexible on whatever the,
Let's have Linda do a look and see what we maybe didn't do officially and see what the status for that was.
I know CFSB had approached us or me at one point about naming the court under CFSB. And I said, okay, well, what do you want to do with that? And they're gonna give me, in perpetuity, they're gonna give us $5,000. And I said, I don't think so, but thank you.
But that brings up.
But we'd be glad to work with you on all kinds of tournaments.
Well, that's fine. I mean, it also brings up that the Calvert City's not done that. And we don't really have a policy for doing that.
Yeah.
I sit there showing Dustin some pictures off my phone, Susan, I went to Paris, Tennessee. I think it was before last, I guess. It was on her birthday on 24th. I know the day, I'll stick with that. So, they've got a insurance company's name on their, accessible park. They got really hard, not a hard surface, but a level surface, soft surface park. And there's a insurance company's name on it. And I don't know how much it would, it's very nice place. I don't know how much money happened. So we never really done that. And we've had, I think we've had baseball association sell some banners before, and that was a point of conversation with various council members about how did that happen? Where did that money go? Who gets that? We just don't have a policy for it, right? Okay, so there's not a policy for that. And, maybe we need one.
I think.
Maybe
should
we
have
need to
opted.
consider that, but Calvert City currently doesn't have it in place.
Hmm.
And so I think we had some baseball administrative league administrative stuff sold some banners or put some banners up. And, and so council, is that part of council or not? What's the policy? This usually involves cash flow, it's council, right? And it didn't go through the purview of the council. So does the league, and man, poor Calvert City, we get so wadded up and everything, don't we? But does the league agreement give you that right? And look, if you can generate money for a league you're trying to run for having a banner up for a finite period of time,
Mhm.
I'm not sure I'm against that, but it just popped out there. That was a
No.
point of discussion.
Well, other than the Marshall County Soccer Association and the Calvert City Baseball Softball Association, which are entities that work for the community right here individually and not, and they work for the kids in here. Of course, there's other kids that come in, but this is traditionally the ones that we actually just let them have the fields. We don't charge them anything, but other leagues that come in and want to use it, they're charged for fields and stuff like that, because a lot of them that are doing that are for profit. They're actually working at a for profit, so. And we've just never addressed whether or not they could actually do that to help in their revenues.
Yeah. Well,
So-
as long as I'm on the soapbox, I'll stay on. When we say things like that, they're for profit. When I was a kid, and then I'm getting a little older, obviously, the dads up the street were the coaches. Okay, and that was what we did. That's the way a lot of folks tend to try to still think about that. But if you're gonna be a competitive traveling squad, then those guys and gals start having paid coaches. Okay. And so I know, I go back to a time when my daughter was playing, I think she was cheerleading, comparing notes, she was in high school cheerleading level and competitive. And then some of the softball parents who think you have it tough. They were taking a caravan, multiple minivans to Nashville to pay for coaches. So they were taking pitching practice, catching practice, and batting practice in the Nashville area. So we have facilities available that for profit people can take advantage of. And we need to figure out a way to facilitate that, because that helps our kids be better too. The days of the dad up the street being able to coach a softball team and have that softball team be equivalent to a traveling team or whatever. So if we have facilities in the community, I'm not looking for an action, I'm just talking out loud, just letting Parks Board think about this. As we have facilities available and we say, okay, but you're getting paid coaching dollars for this. And at some point, you kind of will say, okay, well, what's a fair way to treat this? Because for years, we let dance, which was a for-profit enterprise, use Civic Center basically free. And then people who are interested in dance had that available to them here in Calvert, which was good and was seen as good, is good. But that was a for-profit endeavor. And now they're doing something else because they have other options. But if they hadn't gotten the Civic Center for nearly free, a lot of generations of dancers wouldn't have gotten that opportunity. So we have to strike that balance. So there needs to be some policies and some guidelines to give John direction. So when somebody comes knocking on the door, he knows what to do. He knows what the park board feels like. He knows what the council feels like, and we can.
Our scheduled fees are nothing.
Yeah, they're nothing.
I mean, what we charge somebody to come in there per game, they get $40 per field. That's lights and the field all night. So they can run 2 or 3 games or all day, and that's all it costs them. And they're charging those teams hundreds of dollars for, so I mean, our rates or token.
Yeah, I'm really talking something a little different than that token, because we have facilities that we bought and built, we wanna use, and the fees are nothing. I think what probably is more at play there is when somebody comes in and they want to have a conversation with you about modifying, spending money, having something that would be more appropriate for something they're charging for. What are you gonna do? I mean, is that a proper use of tax money to build them a facility that they can make money on? No. But having a facility available that training can be received at probably is public purpose. So we really don't have a clear path forward on that. I think a lot of folks thinking, unless you've been that parent paying that fee, traveling 110 miles, you really don't have as good of appreciation for that. Well, that would be nice to have in your community. Well, hopefully they can fund it. And actually in Calvert City or very near Calvert City, there are facilities like that that have been built for sports training. Okay. And there's been big money put on some of that. And I mean, unless you're one of the paying people, you don't really realize how that is. But there are some in the city limits that are actually very near it. So
They're
it's just something to think as we plan moving forward.
basing that whole, what's softball, baseball park, it's purely for travel ball tournaments. I mean, that thing's gonna be, that's big money. In
Yeah.
Paducah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's, you're right. I mean, there's each, we don't get much of that though, do we? You get a lot of.
Not really. We get a couple of them.
what, the
but-
Rattlers and them. like,
Rattlers mostly, yeah. They'll bring some folks in, they'll do a tournament or they'll do it. Right now, I mean, we've got an agreement with them, but unfortunately that's rained them out every, bless their hearts, every game they've had has been rained out so far, so.
That would be good for spectators, activities in the center. That would go into Blair's world where they were
Yeah.
flourishing, you know.
Well,
And
what
we
did,
could do some cooperative advertising maybe, but their outfield fence is in the railroad track right away. It's just fields and where they're positioned, that pony field, I still call it pony field, sorry.
Yeah.
But their outfield fence would be out in the railroad track. It'd be across the
Oh, yeah.
East Trail, through the pine thicket,
Yeah,
out in the middle
across
of
the
the
trail.
right of way.
Yeah.
And that's just hard for them to do. And they would, I guess you would build barriers. You try to split the difference with a big tall barrier and say, well, you know, infield, or, you know, whatever you want to do, double ground field rules or whatever. And then if you actually get it over it, then you have credits right around it too. But
what did, well, you may not remember. I mean, I can't think anything big ever coming here except for we used to have the huge soccer tournament, you know, that was massive.
Yeah, because it's short feet.
How did we handle that? Like, did we just give them the fields and everything during all the tournaments? I mean, that's before you too. I don't remember.
there's a league though, MCSA had the league agreement, and they had the date.
So they just.
So
blocked it.
part of doing a big tournament like that, you gotta establish yourself. So they had
Yeah.
established
Oh,
themselves
yeah.
early on, had that date,
Mhm.
Lakeland Invitational. And
Oh, you want the soccer ones?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
That was
thinking like
before- that was
something big.
before me.
Yeah, it was
So
before you.
back in the day, so they would get,
I was thinking like
they had a
that's,
bunch of auxiliary fields out at
LWD,
LWD,
yep.
and that was a big painted in the high D. And then when Miller
So Wells was a
Miller
kid.
came on and started meeting some of the
I was playing.
bands, they had kind of split locations.
Mhm.
Now you're.
It was a mess driving
So
all
you're
around.
20 miles and, you know, soccer had enjoyed a very heavy popularity and a big base of support. And then their numbers had dwindled a little bit and they got away from doing that invitational tournament and got away from that date. They kind of sunset.
Mhm.
I do not know what the league, what do we charge Marshall County now for a league agreement? There's no fee, is there?
That's what I wondered. I didn't even know what we did.
Not for the sports league, no.
Yeah.
Tournaments, it varies by how, whether it's a tournament or it's a league. League gets it by field per day or per usage, whereas tournaments, it's by team.
I wish I could quote the number of games and the number of teams and the number of heads, and we were full. People.
Oh,
bringing us
I played every one of them
teams.
in.
212, I think.
Put the 10x10 canopies up
Yeah.
and drag the cooler out,
Oh, yeah.
and then they would have picnics and
It was massive. That's,
you had
That's
a lot of
impressive.
concessions and stuff, and at the end of the day, they would load the Suburbans back up and either go to the dam or to Paducah,
Yep.
and we'd see them again on Sunday. The same bunch would come on Sunday. It
Yep.
was a heck of an event.
it was awesome.
And it got Calvert City a lot of notoriety, and there's people that I know that could probably quote number of teams, number of games. It was amazing.
212, yeah.
212.
I
212.
think that's their peak, yeah.
I called some of them, as a rep, and it was a great
Yeah,
time.
yeah, I coached and played all weekend long. That's the biggest thing I think of in Calvert at the time. I was like, what do we do with that, you know?
But, you know,
We've lost some
Bowling
fields
Bowling
and-
Green still does them, and we
Mhm.
would travel to, I think we've been as far south as Huntsville. When the kids were playing like U13,
Mhm.
and, You know, it's just those kinds of efforts, there became better venues for them.
Yeah, so we have a lot of,
Gotta be more
our local
competition.
clubs now, you know, they're Nashville, Memphis, they're out of here, like, they don't hardly play here, cause.
Yeah.
And John, I have to correct you. When I was in school, we didn't have soccer. It was in PE. That was the only time we ever played soccer.
Yeah, same with me. I know what
We
you're
had no
talking
teams.
about. Back in the old day.
I never played soccer, but I rep some of those.
I did when I lived in Germany, but not after I got back here.
So. Little Joe was 4 years old playing goalie.
I used to play softball with Joe.
So if they were putting banners up on the ball field. That money would go to fund their ref fees or something? We don't. provide the refs,
Probably,
right?
yeah. It would go to them, whatever it is.
So they had a few years they were selling, they were letting people put banners on the chain link fence.
Yeah.
And I, as a council member, had some calls of concern, and the council members couldn't answer something that involved money,
Yeah,
and that's not the best. But, I'm assuming there was a fee in a finite time period, and it went to the league operation. And so
yeah, it gets sticky.
the leagues are funny things too. I mean,
Are you, now you talking about like Calvert City, or are you talking about something else?
Calvert City,
Baseball and softball?
yeah, they had some.
Yeah,
banners up
we shut that down
I mean, it's.
because they weren't paying anything. We shut that down. Because they got the fields for free, so we wouldn't let them charge. We stopped that eventually.
So, I mean, that's something to consider too. I mean, if that happened up front, you say, hey, I'd like to take that and charge fee. And this is how much we expect to generate, and it's gonna go to league operations, and they communicated that up
Yeah,
front.
yeah, that's a different,
That would be probably something they might be able to sell, but that's
Yeah.
not how it happened. It just appeared up.
yeah,
Nobody knows anything about how it happened and how much fees were, and that's just not the right way to approach that. So I think in the league agreement, it probably it talks about that now, doesn't it? In league agreements, about anything that you're charging for.
Yeah, if like I said, with them, they're not charging anybody. They don't do the advertisements and stuff like that, you know. But if they did, then that would change the whole agreement.
But we want there to be a concession stand,
oh, yeah,
and city pays for concession facilities
okay,
and repairs.
But all the equipment, it belongs to CCBSA or West Kentucky Baseball. We don't
Okay.
own the equipment inside.
So they set up a concession stand, that's in the agreement.
okay.
So
I didn't know that, okay.
it's that way.
Yeah.
And there've been times when,
That's what pays for their referees. I'm sorry to interrupt, but that's what pays for the referees is the
I got you.
concessions.
Okay.
so in times the league will change or, again. John Q. Public and even me and Mike Raymatter, I think, we got parents volunteering for that. Sometimes they sublet it to somebody who's contractor and they're putting commercial food out through there, and then they're giving the league a part of that.
Cool.
But
Well,
then
Miller
again,
Park
how
does.
far in the shorts of the league operation do you
I've
want
never
to be?
been up to that.
Yeah, they sub it out. At Miller.
Hmm.
You go to the softball fields on the far side and it's subbed out.
But there's times you go in and there's people working, you think they're volunteers and they're being paid.
Mhm.
And I say that generally,
Yeah, I was just,
not just Calvert City, different places that you run into that. And that a lot of times it'll violate a citizen's right of fair play, and they'll call it councilman. And it's like, look, the league's running it for the league agreement, it's on them, I'll try to get you an answer.
good to know.
In the West Kentucky League that most of the Little League here in Calvert uses, they'll give teams an option, either your parents are gonna run the concessions one night, or you can pay like a $300 team fee. And then they just hire kids to come in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I can't remember his name, but we played in the softball league at Miller Park on the other side of the pond. And guy with a bushy mustache, but he ran it and we had nothing to do with that. So it was definitely,
Yeah, they actually,
Sourced.
they set theirs up where they bid that out.
Yeah.
With us, it's just the only ones doing it have been them, and they all the equipment's theirs, popcorn, coolers, all of it. You know, it's all theirs. The building is ours. But yeah, the only ones getting paid that I know of were the ones that were the employee or the referees. I may be wrong, but that's the only ones I was getting, umpires, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And they're the only ones I know of that were getting any kind of funding out of that. Coaches weren't getting anything. The league, if it was getting anything, it was being used back into the league, so.
So, you know, when you set up the policies, you kind of have to look and see how the things can go and be flexible to allow that. To define what the limitations might be and also be open to suggestions. So how all that is done, it varies. That's kind of a wild trail there, but as we plan facilities in the future and how they're gonna be used, I think that we need to kind of take a look and see if it can be set up in such a way that you have paid coaches and figure out how we set the policies up and expenditures and tax money to where that beneficial to you and not set something up to be just making a killing.
So on that note, the pickleball courts. During tournament time, that goes up, is that sold spots, sponsors of that tournament? Does that go, is that in the agreement? Are we in a similar situation?
That's an
here?
agreement and they pay for it.
And that's a tournament activity.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
a
that's
tournament
what I just-
activity, so.
Closest thing we got to right now, so I was like, what, maybe that, okay.
And pickleball for non-pickle people don't really understand, it's a democratic type event. So, you know, you go in and show up and play on a certain night, and if it's not known that there's an organization having played on a certain night, people don't come. They say, well, how can I, you know, people are being it for their exclusive use. And so if Susie and Jean came up with our family and want to play, probably not the best of fun, guess what? There's other courts down the hill, you can go, and that's a positive. But for a lot of people, like I heard one couple of grandmothers and they said, hey, I hear y'all play pickleball in Calvert and Monday. And yeah, they do, you gotta go, and they did. They came over, had a great time. So people who don't participate and understand that, they don't really get that, so. You walk by, I said, where's the league agreement? Hadn't got one, don't need one. That's not the way that works, and that's kind of different than what we're used to. Because it's reserved for exclusive use that night. Well, not really. If you want to get in the ladder, I think there's room that you get in at whatever level of play. There's not a fee. Right? There's not a membership fee. They're not, you know, you just have to get in there and play C or B or A, that it is.
Yeah, that's not reserved technically, yeah.
It's like a group going in there and playing basketball and using the court.
Mhm.
You know,
But I think it's not a bad idea, even with the pickleball tournaments, they probably haven't done as good a job of this as it should, but anytime you've got something going on where you're selling sponsorships on a public facility like that. I think there needs to be more of like in a more transparent. Books say, you know, open up the books a little bit and show people like this is how much money we raise and or show y'all or, you know, whoever. This is where the money's being used. It's not being, you know, so that you can make sure they're not using it for profit. And it's going to a charity or wherever it needs to be going. I think that is important.
well, I mean, for example, they pay field price for the courts. And it's per day, per court, per day, you know, and it's just, and it's generally what, 2 days, 3 days? So you're talking about $240 for the weekend, you know, and then the lights. Of course, the lights are always on, so there's no sense charging
always
the
on.
lights.
Not now.
Not now. We fixed them now.
Are they? I don't know how many times I've messaged him running, I'm like, why are those lights on? It's day.
You know, we can shut them off now.
So what happens like, I've come through like some late nights going into work on Collins and I'll see those softball fields lights on, or still just a blaring and there ain't nobody down there, like. We just burn those on that long. I mean, I know they're going to LED.
They're supposed
so it's
to-
cheaper,
They didn't
but
turn
that
them off.
just
They're
drives me
supposed to
nuts.
turn them off at the end of the
Yeah.
night. When they get done, they're supposed to turn them
Mhm.
off. Unfortunately, some do and some don't. So,
Which right
and
now,
I'm not,
those are-
and I'm
those are
not
middle
calling
halide
somebody out
limits.
on overtime to turn the lights off.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
they're
I hope
LED.
the LED will cut that down tremendously.
Yeah, so.
So it's a lot cheaper.
Oh, yeah, we've been.
We had thought about putting them on a timer where they just shut off and can't be turned back on till like 6 the next morning or sometime the next day.
That's I wonder,
They-
at a certain
they
time of
just-
night, I mean,
Just shut off at, okay, you gotta be done by
You put a hot tub.
9:30, 10 o'clock and then it goes out, you know.
yeah,
Yeah. There are a lot of communities that really get watered up and, you had neighborhoods here. On Lee
Oh,
Night,
yeah.
the light,
Certain time.
the light, you get a lot of citizens, but we're fortunate we don't have that issue here so much. And we do have a couple of houses that would be impacted.
Mhm.
There are in communities, they've got some pretty stringent ambient light monitoring. And, they get in there turning off the fields, and I think Murray had some resistance to some neighbors and not long ago. And had some TV spots about people didn't like the notion that pickleball would be like. They had something going on in Murray on that. They wanted a curfew
Noise.
time. They wanted end of play time.
Vincent has a curfew. Vincent has a morning and night curfew. I don't know the exact times. I'm thinking it's something around like 6 AM and 10 PM or something like that.
Yeah.
Who does that? Who has that?
It's really close to houses, Benton.
Oh, Benton
Yeah,
does.
it's pretty close to right in the neighborhood area. There's a house right across the street.
Yeah, I know where it's at. I didn't know that they had the curfew though. That was
Yeah.
okay. All right.
Well, what they would do, you couldn't turn the lights on outside of those.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
When it starts.
So that's one thing we've never done because of the plants. We've never shut the parks down at night. The parks have been allowed to be used 24/7 because of the plants and the personnel from the plants who worked,
We went
afternoons.
through one period of time. Where we had a group of guys shooting hoops. There was like, I'm wanting to think 4 teams. And you come by here at 11 o'clock at night and they've gotten off afternoon shift and like in summertime, it's
Oh,
hot
yeah.
in, they'd be out there getting after it.
Wow.
And these would be, these weren't kids, these were guys getting off work.
I had coworkers at Fish and Wildlife when I was at camp that would come use these basketball courts and we got off at about 11 o'clock. And they would come,
One time.
it could have been, they would say,
Got
man,
that.
those
Maybe-
courts in Calvert are good.
Yeah.
I used to play late at night when I was young. Nice and cool.
Yeah, I enjoy over light and everything. I'm glad we're, anytime you wanna go clear your head or go play or whatever.
I was at the pickleball courts at 11:30 last night playing and it was full. It was packed.
And the night before I was playing, it went a soul up there. I was like, it's beautiful out. Where's
Saturday
everybody?
night.
I think we'd have a riot if we tried to put a curfew on it.
And it was packed last night.
Well, I didn't mean to come in and interrupt, but the latter thing's what I was really happy. Yeah, we'll look up, see what the status is and maybe talk about it next week.
Sounds good. Thank you.
I've been told that my vendor would get a cold.
She's watching. There you go.
So if somebody's gonna make a motion, or I got more business.
I don't know. We'll see.
Make a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned at 6:45.